the success potentially that they have this year lines them up for a top 10 recruiting class by 2025. And Mel Tucker, man, there's just something about him.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason for you to want to go to Michigan State.
They are doing it the right way.
Who you associate yourself with helps or hurts recruiting.
I think it's great for the Big Ten. I think it's great for college football. Terry Foster.
Yes, sir.
Mel Tucker, during Big Ten Media Day,
Coach
said
at Michigan State University, football.
Yes, sir. Said he believes that the Big Ten adding USC and UCLA will only help Michigan State recruiting in the future, buying or selling that.
I think it's going to help every team in the Big Ten. It'll help Purdue. It'll help Illinois. It'll help Michigan. So, yeah, I buy that because kids want to play on the West Coast. They'll look forward to playing UCLA and USC, going out to Southern California a couple times a year or a couple times during their career. So I buy that, but it should help the entire league as far as a talent standpoint. Who you associate yourself with helps or hurts recruiting. For instance, Nebraska. Nebraska was a powerhouse, but when they moved to the Big Ten, they lost their recruiting base in Texas. Kids went to Nebraska because they knew they were going to play Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and everything. But when when Nebraska switched to the Big Ten, all those Texas kids said, you know what, I'm not going in the middle of the cornfield because I'm not even coming home a couple times in my career, so screw them. So it helps and hurts depending on who you associate yourself with. And I think in this instance, it's going to help everybody in the Big Ten. Spam.
Yeah, I do agree. From Michigan State standpoint, Tuck has a lot of ties, not only down south, but even on the West Coast. Mel Tucker, to me, Terry, we talk about Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Day, right? And really go back to Urban Meyer when he came to Ohio State, really just took them to a whole different level.
Right.
Ryan Day has continued it since. But let's be honest. Jim Harbaugh came. Michigan was recruiting some years in the top 10 and some years between 15 and 29. That was like just their reality for Michigan. Harbaugh shows up. Year one, I want to say it was like 20th. And then it was 6, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. That's what you need. When I look at Mel, you're going into year 3, right? It's a big year for them. Coming off an 11-win season, I think the success potentially that they have this year lines them up for a top 10 recruiting class by 2025.
Yeah, Mel Tucker is doing a lot of things behind the scenes that's going to set him up to be a top 10 recruiting class by that time. As I said before, he's getting to know a lot of the younger kids. They identify with him. In fact, a friend of ours was recruited by Mel Tucker, and he decided to play baseball instead. And Mel Tucker, when he lost out to him, he said, baseball doesn't work out, come back. The door's always open for you. And the family appreciated that. And if this kid does play football, which I don't think he's going to do, he's going to Michigan State. No question.
Yeah, I think Mel just has such charisma. And one of the things I don't think he gets enough credit for, probably Michigan State fans notice this, but maybe not so much any other Big Ten fan base, is his like consciousness and awareness of marketing himself, marketing Michigan State, the brand. You now have Spartan Dogs for life. They do a podcast here nightly, Wednesday nights. You have this NIL, and I would say influx, that's really, really taking Michigan State on the right path. They are doing it the right way. If you look at lower tiered schools, I don't mean this in a bad way for Michigan State, but they're trying to reach the upper echelon of college football. How do you get there? And it's, well, with good marketing and branding, What do you know? This reminds me of Oregon back in the day, right? Not only winning on the field and success, but also how do you present yourself to these recruits? Do you leave a lasting impression where it's like, you know what, man? I'm kind of thinking about Michigan State. I know it's crazy. I know Alabama wants me. I know LSU wants me. I know Ohio State wants me. But, man, Mel Tucker, man, there's just something about him.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason for you to want to go to Michigan State.
Yes.
If you are let's say you're a top 50 recruit or top 100, your first thinking is, I want to go to the NFL. Forget all these guys saying, well, I went to this school because of academics. No, you didn't. You went to that school because you thought you can get to the NFL. You liked the head coach, or there was some assistant coach that you really, really liked. The academic thing is all hogwash. So if Alabama is after you, Clemson is after you, and they've got that pedigree, like, not only are you going to go to the NFL, but you're going to play some high-profile games in January. So now, if Michigan State is after, why do I want to go to Michigan State? There has to be a reason. I think Mel Tucker is making himself the reason.
No, 100%. Also, to add to that, what did the Rose Bowl used to represent? Outside of the game itself, what value did it bring if you were a Big Ten school playing in the Rose Bowl?
It was huge.
Back when it mattered. Back when the Rose Bowl truly mattered.
Right. It was huge.
It was huge from a brand perspective, a recruiting perspective. And I think you being able to play USC every year or every other year, we'll see how this shapes out. That is just, you can't put a dollar figure on it in terms of value. Maybe you can in terms of what Fox will pay to renew the Big Ten, and all the teams will be making probably north of $105 million just from the TV revenue. Mm-hmm. Like,
but to show you how big playing the Rose Bowl was, Michigan played that up big time. They didn't mention at one point they were 2-10 in the Rose Bowl.
No,
they didn't mention that part.
They just mentioned they were in the Rose Bowl.
We were there, and some people said, well, I want to play here. I want to play in that Rose Bowl.
Right? You want to be there. It's beautiful.
Right.
Oh, man.
I want to chill out on the beach for a week. You know, yes, they do work hard when they go there, but most of the work when you go to a bowl is done before you go to the bowl. So, yeah, you do have workouts and you do work out, but for the most part, they're kissing your ass for a week. You're on the beach. You have these contests, eating contests and stuff like that. A 19, 20-year-old guy, sign me up.
Sign me up. I mean,
pretty girls. So not forget them.
That's a bonus.
Women.
That's a bonus, right? I would say, for Mel Tucker's sake, that USC, look, let's just call it what it is. When USC gets to the Big Ten, I believe, under Lincoln Riley, they are currently the only team in the entire conference that is positioned to compete with Ohio State. The only team. Now, competing with Ohio State, that doesn't mean there won't be other Big Ten champions over the next 5-7 years. But what it means is, from a recruiting standpoint, a talent standpoint, USC is going to be up there. Lincoln Riley will have that team playing at a level probably it's never played since Pete Carroll has been there. They're going to be at there. I say USC probably this year a 9-win team. By the time they get to the Big Ten, they're going to be ready to run the table.
You know who else can join that? UCLA could if they get the right guy. UCLA is a prettier campus. It's in a better area. It has a lot to sell, but UCLA hasn't gotten the right person in that seat. If they get the right person, UCLA could be that team instead of USC.
Absolutely. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the merger. I think it's great. I think it's great for the Big Ten. I think it's great for college football. There's nothing better than when you have some of your historical branded schools, Michigan, Texas, USC, Miami. When those schools are right, Terry, it's just good for college football. It just is.
Well, no, Adam, what about the tradition? You know, you lose the tradition.
That's what you can do with your tradition. All of you crybabies out there. You know, at the game last night, by the way, we were talking about, they were asking me what I was going to do this season. Whether I was going to be a Michigan fan or a Michigan State fan.
Well, that's becoming
and
a
just
thing
so you know,
now.
every individual on the team had either gone to State or Ann Arbor. So, you know, they all pretty much pitched why I should be for their teams. I'm not going to lie, the Michigan State people gave me a better pitch.
What are the most compelling things you're hearing about being a Spartan and being a Wolverine?
Being a Spartan, the most compelling argument I got was on the rise. People are sleeping on the team this year. Better to vote for the underdog, and we're 2-0 against Jim Harbaugh, and hopefully this year we can beat Ohio State in East Lansing, which is hopeful. You know, good luck to you guys. But Michigan fans, you know what they told me?
What?
We're Michigan.
That's
And
you
I
know
swear
what?
to God,
Yeah.
and like I love my guys. I love my friends, but I wanted to like snap on the spot. It's like, we're Michigan, just won the Big Ten.
You know what? That's what they told my daughter when she applied for there, because she was high academics, and so we told her you should consider going to Michigan. She wanted to go to Kalamazoo College or something like that. She wanted to go to Vanderbilt. And I said, girl, you already got a top academic school in your backyard. She may have gone there, but when she applied before she was accepted, she went to Michigan thing, and they were telling her how lucky she would be to get into Michigan.
Yeah, I hate that. One of the other great, I would say my favorite points really were around tailgating. So both the Michigan and Michigan State groups, they both admitted Michigan State Stadium is not all that, but the tailgates are lit. So I'm invited to go up to a few Michigan State tailgates this year, so that'll be fun.
They are fun, but I'll tell you what, I like the Michigan tailgates a little bit better. I think the food is better. It may not be as party centric, but you know, I'm at tailgates for the food and the booze.
I don't know. As of now, I am 60% leaning towards Michigan State.
Don't
this
lie
season.
to us. You're more like 70 or 80.
Fish, shut the fuck up. Mute your mic.
Thank you.